I at the wrong orientation? I hope I'm live. We'll see. YouTube is working on doing vertical and horizontal lives at the same time. So if you can see me, tell me which direction you can see me. Can you see me? I'm horizontal, but can you see me horizontal or am I vertical? So while I get set up in the workshop here, I'm gonna turn it around. See here? Okay. Let me get set up while everybody joins on, and this is what I'm working on today. So let me get everything set up and then I'll be back. Okay, I don't think it wants to support horizontal live. So we're gonna just go vertical, and YouTube is working on it. They're working on trying to do both vertical and horizontal in the same feed. So for right now, it's not liking it. So it's okay. We'll just go vertical for today, and I'm gonna continue setting up. Kate is, we're cleaning out my gun because she used it this morning. So she painted some nightstands this morning. Those are well primed. She's primed those, and I'm gonna paint this. So I'm going from white primer to navy paint. So I gotta clean out my stuff. She's cleaning it out right now. I'm getting everything set up. I've already have 2 coats of primer on this, and I'm ready to paint it. So I've been working on this for weeks. So we're gonna try to get some paint on today. So I have a few more things to set up, and then we'll have a little chat. Got it? Huh? Okay, just bring it to me. Okay. Do you have the, do you have,
I can get the cleaning stuff. It's on front.
okay. Let's see here, sometimes it just gets stuck.
I'll go get
I need to run some acetone through it. Here you go.
Oh, you got it?
Yep, I got it. If you'll just clear that out, and then that way I can start straining.
I got it.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, she's gonna finish cleaning that out. HVLP. I think it is. I'm using an Erlex. It's actually by Wagner, 5700. It's a 2 turbine. And so I love it. I clean it out every time, but sometimes, I use paint that really dries hard. And so if there's any paint that gets left in there, it just kind of, you know, get stuck. So occasionally I do need to just run some acetone through it. So I'm using Anchors Away. This is a really beautiful navy. Let me show you. It's a beautiful navy. This is one I already had, so I'm just using up one I had left over. I do like this, Emerald. This is by Sherwin-Williams. This is their urethane trim enamel. I've kind of moved over to their Gallery series, but Gallery does have to be sprayed. And so if you want a really beautiful paint and you're not a sprayer and you kind of brush and roll, Emerald is a really good alternative to any other paint you see out there. It self-levels, dries really hard, and so it is beautiful. So that's what I'm going to use today as soon as she's done cleaning it out. I need to really get another gun or another hopper. Okay, so this is what I've got. I've got the arch doors, and then I've got the other doors. So I've already got these set up. And I'm going to go ahead and do a coat of navy on those today. Thanks, Kate. Okay. She's done, so let me get this set up. So I've tried a few different guns, and this is an all metal gun, and I find it really easy to use because all of the components are metal. So you can just take everything apart and clean it really well. So okay, let me get this straining so we can get going on it. Thanks, Kate. What did I do with my strainer? So I got some new strainers. I've had some that I bought before that it's by a name brand, but man, they always just disintegrated on me. So I found these. These are, I don't know if they're 3D printed or what, 3D materials, but they held up really well. I paid just a little bit more for them, but I like them because I do, especially if I'm using old paint that's been sitting in my paint cabinet for a while. I really got to make sure I strain it because it will get these little things in my finish, which I don't want. So that's always annoying. All right, while that strains, I know I'll have to do more. Let's put the gun together. So, like I said, it's an all-metal gun. I like to start with the needle first. I'm using a 1.5 for the paint. I put that in a little bit, and then I put in the top. Okay. And then I seat the rest of the needle. Goes all the way in. Then I can put the spring in and the knob. I'll go ahead and screw it all the way down. That way I kind of have a starting point of where I want to be. Maybe not all the way, but most of the way. And then I have this little guy here. It's kind of a springy one, so you got to make sure it's seated and kind of springs. And then this, and then the collar. that. I usually tilt this to where it's going towards the front. And I do have to tighten this with a wrench just to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then sometimes I have problems with this little guy. This is the air. So I always let me get a little tool. So I have this little tool. I always want to make sure that it's clear. Make sure no paint gets stuck in there because that can stop the flow of paint. So, okay, so that part is set up, ready to go. Now let's get some more paint in here. This is coming, but it's super thick. I will water this down too, because, you know, they have the viscosity cup so you can check the viscosity of stuff, but over time you just kind of know how it's supposed to feel when you stir it. So I'm going to keep letting that go. It's going to be a while. So this one I've had for a little bit, so that's why it's a little thicker, but that's okay. So we will I'll give you a tour and I'll show you what else I'm working on. So getting kind of full in the garage. Kate is working on my daughter. She's flipping with me, so she has her own pieces. She's working on these 2 nightstands. Laminate tops, so we're just painting the whole thing. It was already a painted finish, so we're just repainting them. She's gonna maybe gild some accents. We have pretty hardware, so that's her flip. And then I have a cherry dresser, total cherry. I've stripped it, and this one is, I've rough sanded it just with 80 grit. And so, oh gosh, it's gonna take a long time. I did the top yesterday. You know, cherry is just blotchy. You see that there? That is completely sanded, but so I'm not a fan of the red. I know a lot of people are, but I will probably tone this somehow with, I'll show you what I'm gonna use. I'm either gonna use a pewter stain or I'm gonna use pewter, or I'm going to use green dye stain, and that will cancel some of the red tones on those drawers. I know a lot of people, well, some people like red, but my buyers don't really love red. And so it's just needs to be toned. So that's what I'll be working on next. It does have the matching mirror, which I took apart, and it was dated to 1956. And so I'm assuming that's pretty close to the age. Sometimes the mirrors don't always match the age, but I think that's pretty close, the era. And so I already stripped it down, and I'm gonna treat it the same way. Not everybody will want the mirror, but I figure I got it. I got both pieces for, I think like $110 for the mirror and the dresser. So good buy. And then after, this project is for me. So I kind of work on this bookcase kind of in between my other projects because it's not a paying project, but I'm trying to kind of get it going because it's just taking forever to finish it because there's so many pieces. I've got these, and then these are the doors. And so, you know, I have these little, like a mullion, and then these are the supports that hold in the glass. And so many pieces, and then that's the middle support there, and then I have all of the shelves as well. So it's just taking forever, but I'll get it eventually. Step by step, I'll eventually get it done. But let's check on this paint. It's still going, so come on. I wanted to have this done, but my daughter took a lot longer on her piece, but that's okay. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? You see what I'm working on. We can chat a little bit while I'm waiting for that to do its thing. Are you working today, or are you watching me paint? Do you have a project you're working on? You'll have to tell me in the comments, because it's hot. It's not too hot today. It's a little bit actually nicer. I went for a bike ride this morning and it was beautiful. Almost needed a jacket. Penny, I love to see someone whose shop looks like mine. You mean a mess? My shop is a mess. I am actually long-term working on organization. I'm actually going to build a staging wall. I've talked about it the last couple times, but I ordered my supplies and from Lowe's, and I have to build out a false wall because I have a concrete little step. And so I'm going to build a frame, put some drywall up, and then I'm going to do some pretty molding. And then I'm going to get some like luxury vinyl plank or whatever to put down as a false, just I'm just gonna float it on the floor. And can you add water to make the paint filter quicker? Yeah, I've done that too. Sometimes it's just I overfill it. And so I actually added some water when it was in the paint can because I could tell it was already thick. And so sometimes you just experiment. But I don't want to add too much because I already added some in the can. So because of that, I'm trying to be careful. It's hard to take away water. And I only have so much paint because I only have about a quarter of a can left. So I'm trying to be careful. Like I said, I think I could have if I hadn't already added some while it was in the can. Let me see, working from home in my spare time. This is Karen. I'm an artist and a runner. Ooh, my craft room has lots of personality like your shop. I know. I'm hoping to build some cabinets someday. My husband's not a tinkerer or anything. That's not his bend. He likes to, he bike rides also, works out, and he likes to garden with me. So we don't vegetable garden, we flower garden. And so our backyard is beautiful. We have been working on it for the last few years. We've lived in this house for 4 years, and there was absolutely nothing, not a tree, not a shrub, nothing in the backyard. And so the house is 18 years old. So when we moved in, it was 14 years old. I don't even know why they didn't plant a tree, but we've been slowly working on it. He has his side, and I have my side because we have different styles. He's all about like wildflowers and color and that kind of thing. And I love evergreens. And so I don't have a lot of evergreens actually, but I do like some structure. And so my side, of course, there's different needs because each of our sides have different lighting needs. So my side gets some shade and his side is almost in all sun. And so it's been fun. I have some limelight hydrangeas, and then I added a couple more pink hydrangeas, and we do rose bushes and all kinds of stuff. So Mike, how old are you? You're never supposed to ask a woman how old they are, but I don't mind about age. So I just turned 54 last week, or not last week, a couple weeks ago. So I'm 54 years old. Can you believe that? Crazy. My oldest kid just turned 27. I had him when I was 27. And so it's kind of weird. I have 3 kids. One's 27, one is 22, and then my daughter is 18. And so they're all home still. So I'm not a empty nester yet. So I do get to see them. I feel like it's bonus time. There's 8 years distance between my oldest and my youngest. And I think because of my oldest, it took him a while to get through college. He went part-time, and so he graduated later. So he's still looking for his career, full-time job, but he's been working towards it, but he's close. And so because of that time, I feel like we've had like bonus time. And my oldest has gotten to know my youngest as more of an adult, which is kind of nice. And let me see here. Karen, we had a son move away, so now my hubby has a hobby room. Oh, yes. That's kind of nice. I don't really we have a room upstairs that I don't, I use as kind of like my office, but it's more decoration. But I love it up there. So we have one extra room. I'm getting a drawer and a closet. Ooh, that's nice. Vegetable gardener. We haven't gotten into veggies yet. And so, I don't know. I get frustrated with vegetables. We tried once years ago when our kids were little. My husband dug up a bed and did vegetables, and he dug up the cable line. I still have a video of it, and it was pretty funny. But he grew zucchinis and oh, we got some romaine and peppers. You know, I didn't even know romaine had a taste. It was delicious. And I was like, okay, romaine, that's pretty good. But I haven't grown it since. And so we have so many bunnies in our yard. It's crazy. And so they still eat all of our stuff, which is frustrating. But my husband wants to get something to try to deter them. And I don't know what that would be, but we'll see. So Karen, you have 3 kids too, only one left at home, and my mom, 88. We take care of her. Oh, that's great. My parents are in their 80s. They were just over for lunch yesterday. So they're getting older, and so I have them over at least a couple times a month, or I get to see them other than that, but I try to have them over and feed them because that's important for them to get some good food. And then I typically will send them home with extra food. So if we grill hamburgers and we do grilled chicken, my dad's not a griller, and so my mom's not able to really do much right now. And so my dad's he's the main caregiver, and so he needs help. And so I send them home, I feed them for lunch, and then I'll send them home with grilled chicken and chicken breasts, chicken thighs, hamburgers, buns, maybe some rice. I don't know. So I'm trying to see what I can do to help him out, because he's doing a good job trying to cook, but he's never cooked. They've been married for like 60 years, and my mom's taking care of him, and now he needs to take care of her. So okay, I am official. I am all loaded up. So I'm gonna paint this thing. Can you believe it? Finally, I've been working on this since I started my lives. How many weeks ago? It's embarrassing. But I think it's just because this is, for me, it just takes a long time to kind of get, things in between projects. So I'm going to, I'm doing navy on this piece. And we just celebrated 38th anniversary. Happy anniversary, Karen. My anniversary is next month. We got married in October. We were young when we got married. I was 21 and Jeff was 22. We met in college. And I always thought I was gonna get married when I was 27. I don't know why, I just thought I was gonna get married at 27. So I was not really looking for anybody, but we worked together and at school, and he was already dating somebody at the time, and so it made it low-key, so we were just friends. And eventually he didn't date that girl anymore, and then I was like, had to convince him that I liked him and that I would be great, and he didn't even get it. I was like, he didn't understand my flirting, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a good flirt. But finally convinced him, and we started dating. And I'd never dated anybody for longer than 3 months before I met him. Because I always tell people, I think 3 months, you can tell. Is this going to go anywhere or not? And he's the only one I dated longer than 3 months. And we've been married almost 32 years. And so he's great. I think we started as friends. And I think that helps, you know. So we have a common interest. We get along. We're just, you know, we enjoy each other's company. And so that's, I think, why it's worked so well. And so anyway, that's my little story. But we're going to do 32. We're up to 32 next year. And so weird. I don't feel like I'm in my 50s, you know? And so I'm like, gosh, being married 30 years, that's crazy. But we were so young. I don't know that I would recommend somebody getting married that young, but we did. And we waited to have children. And so we waited until I was 27, he was 28. And so I wanted a little stability before we added kids to the mix. And because kids are a lot. And I know people have a ton of kids. We only have 3. And I'm like, okay, how do people do it that have like 6, 7, 8, 9 kids? I don't even understand it. Maybe either ours are high needs or we just don't organize things well or something, but I don't know. It's a lot. Good for you, Karen. You're a climber too. I agree. I think you have to stay active. I'm a bike rider, so I do biking, but I've just added actually doing weights more because I was kind of doing weights here at the house, but nothing like, you know, concentrated effort. And so anyway, that's what I've been starting to weight lift, which I think has been super fun. Okay, I'm gonna get suited up here and we're gonna paint. Sorry, I'm just chatting your ear off, but there we go. Okay, I'm gonna turn you around. So with this piece, I'm actually doing navy on the outside and I'm gonna do a light blue on the inside. So it's gonna be beautiful. Let me see if I can get you set up here. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, let's take a break. Oh. So don't worry about the first coat. First coat always looks terrible. It's a very saturated color, so it's gonna need a couple coats. But I've used it before, and again, man, that first coat's always kind of scary. Let me go back, see if there's any other questions. I saw one I did not answer. How did I get into selling furniture? This is from Karen. Um, I've always done furniture. I've always done it for myself. I refinished my kitchen table. I painted stuff, you know, all kinds of stuff over the years when I was raising my kiddos. But when we moved into this house 4 years ago, I had a table and it had a nick on it. It was a wood table from West Elm. And I didn't need it in this house because we ended up we turned our kitchen nook into a garden room because it's gonna, you know, it looks out onto our garden. So we decided, and we had a formal dining room right next to it. So there was a formal dining room that connected to the dining nook. I didn't need it. So I was like, okay, we first it was like a library room. I had some bookcases in there, but they were really too much for that room. And then when we created the garden, we turned it into our garden room. Long story short, I didn't need that table, so I decided, let me paint it and see if I can sell it. Because I knew with the nick, I wasn't be able to sell it very well. I needed to fix that nick. So I fixed it and it sold really fast. And I thought, this is interesting. And so I just picked up another piece and picked up 2 nightstands at an estate sale, painted those, and they sold. And so it just kind of snowballed. And my kids were getting older, and so I had a little bit more time to do things. And so, I don't know, that's kind of how it started. And so that was almost 4 years ago. And I just kind of kept going. And so I started on Instagram and posting stuff there. And then about a year after I did Instagram, I started YouTube. And so I've been doing YouTube since 2023. I officially started my account in 2022, but I didn't really start posting until 2023. And so I was kind of went official in July is when I was monetized. July of 2023. And so it's been 2 years that I've been on YouTube. So ebbs and flows, and you know, it's hard in the content that I do is I have to have a finished project in order to post a video. I mean, obviously I do shorts and such, but you know, it's very, you know, project based. And so it's been fun though. I do enjoy it. Jacqueline, you could have easily used some painter's tape to block the areas. I know, but I didn't want to take the time to block it off because I'm going to paint it anyway. So I'm going to probably, this is for me, so I'm not like overly concerned. You'd be surprised what a well-placed piece of cardboard can do. And the amount of time it would take me to tape all of that off, it's just not worth it for me. And so I will be painting the interior anyway. And so I find it's faster for me. And so I'll probably paint the interior from the back because I took the back off. So I won't have that overspray. That's my logic anyway. We'll see if that works. But I've thought about it. I do think about things. And, you know, sometimes taping off is good. But then sometimes it's just a lot of time and effort. And time is money. So you have to kind of think through things and go, okay, this is a piece for me, and so, you know, it's gonna be okay. So, but I'm loving it. It's a beautiful blue. This is a really deep blue, especially once you get to that second coat. It's gonna be gorgeous. So I've already shown you, some of you might not have seen it. Do you wanna see the wallpaper I'm putting behind it? Now that I have the blue up, I should show it to you. So let me go get it because it's still out here in the garage. I used it on another piece, not for myself. I think I put it on the back of a china. No, like a little tiny curio cabinet is what I put it on. Hang on, I gotta move my tripod. Okay, I'm gonna turn it around. Okay, here's the blue. This side went on a little bit more saturated. And here is my wallpaper. This is, can you see it? This is from Rifle Paper Company, and there's a beautiful peacock there. It has some beautiful gold metallic accents. So this will go on the back. I will have a couple different, I have some boards that I'm cutting, and that will go on the back. And so, sorry, I'm all discombobulated here. So the wallpaper will go on the back up here. And then I don't know if I'll have enough to do the bottom, but if I have enough, I'll do the whole thing. Even though there's doors here and you'll never really see it, I probably will still do it if I have enough. So the reason why I chose this one, I looked and looked and looked. I really liked how it had the step up. Just unique, right? And then it has the arch door in the middle. And so it has two skinny doors that have glass, and then this is glass and it has the arch. And these are just the doors, which they're right here. These are the doors that go on the bottom. So all of the hinges were completely rusted out. So I'll need to replace all of the hinges. I mean, I might try to clean one up and see if it cleans, but I'm also, since it's for me, I'm also okay with just completely replacing them. So I'll take them to like Ace or Lowe's or somewhere. Ace has a great supply of those kind of things. You can just buy a few. They have really good, I love going to Ace because it has all those little boxes and just, you know, amazing variety of stuff. I mean, it's a small store, but you would be amazed at what you can find at Ace. I'm like, okay, I love it. And so I'll probably take the hinges over there and get those replaced. And then, hi from North Carolina, Shannon. Thank you, love your work. I'm glad you're here, thank you. Hi Vicki and Kareen, nice to have you. But yeah, I also have to do hardware because it came with locks, and the locks, I have no keys. And I don't know that I want locks. I think I want actual functioning doors that open and close. I don't want to have to unlock them every time I open it. So I have to find some pretty hardware to go on it too. So, and I'm sure I'll gild some because, well, why not, you know? Might as well. So, because it's for me. And if you followed me at all, you know I like to gild things. So I'm surprised I'm not going with gold in the middle, but I'm not. I'm actually going with either Parma Gray, which is a light blue, or I'm going with light blue. They're both by Farrow and Ball. So I've used them both. I've done a beautiful blue dresser with Parma Gray. It was faux bamboo, beautiful. I know it has the word gray in it, but it's not gray. It's a blue with a very light gray undertone. So it's a little bit muddier. It's not like baby blue. It's like kind of an adult light blue. And then light blue actually looks a little gray. Farrow and Ball has beautiful colors, but they're the names that they chose usually don't really work because, like, I can't remember if it's there's one that says it's a gray. Blue, I think it's blue gray, but it actually is green. It's so strange. But anyway, I'm excited. I think it's going to look really beautiful. Do you follow Duval Kitchens at all? And if you do, you might have followed that they call it a curiosity cupboard or cupboard of curiosity, I forget. But they do like a China hutch. There's a built-in sometimes, but they'll do dark exteriors and light interiors, and then they do the wallpaper or hand painting along the back. And so that's kind of my inspiration for this piece. I think it's going to be beautiful. And so I've been looking for a long time. This is a barn find. It was a mess when I got it. I'm sure there's going to be one. There was some water damage on the right side. I've had to replace veneer. one of the doors was swollen shut. I couldn't even get it open. I had to take off the back and just like push it out. Anyway, I'm sure I'm probably gonna have some problems when I go put that door back on, and more than likely I will have to get like, oh, what are those called? Where you, not a shim, but the thing where you can just take off wood. I'll have to get one of those. It's not a scribe. Anyway, I have one. It's by Jorgensen, and it'll take off, just take off some of that wood so I can, I'm assuming because it was swollen shut, that door, I'm assuming it's gonna mess up when I try to put it back together. Hinge day is like my worst day. Trying to put doors back on vintage furniture is annoying. So that should be interesting, but I'm excited. I think it's gonna, it's coming along. It's so nice just to get some paint on it because it's been weeks and weeks and weeks of prep, and I'm so annoyed at it. So I'm really glad to see a different color on it than just white primer and red Bondo. So, so anyway, that's all I have today. We're right at our hour, so our hour's already up. I'm gonna continue painting. But thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat. I'll respond. I read all the comments. And if you have a project you're working on, I've had some people reach out to me and they want to post pictures. There is a community tab on my page. And if you go to the community tab, YouTube allows you to post pictures or to post, you know, something. So people have asked some questions. If you have a project you're working on, and it's not just to me, it's to the community at whole. So anybody, you can post a picture of like maybe something you're working on and say, I need some suggestions, and everybody can respond and chime in and give some suggestions. So check out the community tab. It's not just to, you know, for me, it's for you guys to interact as well and to give some feedback on your projects. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week for Work With Me Wednesday.